Juxtaposition of dynamic is extremely important, loud to soft. So do your best to make those happen in this and every other portion of the piece. Another example of this is 2 before 326, where the mezzo piano entrance happens after a forte attack. Okay? Going back to where we started, 314, we need to prioritize line. There are 5 different lines going on at once, and it's very difficult to know what you're listening for. Okay, priority number 1, can I hear these people? English horn, alto, 1 and 2, trumpet, 3, 4, 5, 6, horn, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there, 314, where we start. Space. Set, go. Bass clarinet, bassoon, bari sax, trombone 3, euphonium, and tuba. And if I forgot you and you have the dotted quarter note, play. Here we go. Bass line. 1 and 2 and set and go. 1. These are the priority. Line 1 and line 2, priority. Here we go. 1 and 2 and set and go. Now, raise your hand if you could actually hear those 2 things before. Probably not, right? Okay, but they're cool, and they need to be brought out of the texture. Okay, there are 3 other lines. Line 5. Least important. You can probably guess who you are. Icing on the cake. 16th note, people. Pick, flute, E flat clarinet. Clarinet 1 through 3. Actually, all clarinet. And percussion 2. Percussion 2 lines up with this as well. Least important, you don't play true forte. Play extremely stylized, with space, lifted, but not truly forte. Okay. Anyone that I have not mentioned, line 3 and 4, play. Anyone that I have not mentioned, line 3 and 4, play. Here we go, 314. So I should only have trumpet 1 and 2, right? Okay, good. Here we go. Good. 1 and 2 and set and go. So this is 2 syncopated counter lines against each other, okay? 1 which comes in on the and 1 which comes in on the downbeat, okay? In juxtaposition. So when you have the 8th note, bring it out, pop the syncopation out. Can I hear that line one more time? Always play towards the release. Very rhythmically accurate. 1 and 2 and set and go. So articulation-wise, the clarity of that line is pivotal, but the actual dynamic of that line is going to be more of a mezzo forte, mezzo piano with clarity. Okay. So we now have line 1 through 5. 1 and 2 are the most important. 5 is the least important. What just played in the middle. Here we go. 314. Open your ears. 14, 314. 1 and 2 and set and go. Isolated notes in the 5th and 6th bar after 326. The first one is all woodwinds, the second one is full ensemble. There should be a difference in sound. The second one should resonate slightly more because of the brasses. Woodwinds, can that first one be played extremely short? Okay. Can we go at 326, please? Could each entrance in bar 3 of the canon be more predominant, particularly the bottom orchestrated lines that start on beat 3 and the and of 3? The filler here is the timpani solo. So it's very pointillistic when playing, timpani, rhythmic clarity, solo in between. Okay? This is 326, true piano. Unless you have the sforzando, horns, uke, tuba, da! Okay, here we go. 1, 2, set, and go. Earlier so that you have the energy of the air you need to play the 16th. 326, here we go. horns, can you delay the decrescendo till after the downbeat of the second bar? Delay the decrescendo till after the second downbeat of the second bar. Low brasses, your decrescendo can start immediately after the attack. Okay. Moving backwards. Find 319. After 319, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bar. Anyone that plays here, staccato eighth notes have to be extremely pointed. Nothing can touch. Brasses, energy through the 16ths. Yada-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yada-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a delicate fanfare figure. Clarinets, make sure that you're matching down to the horn articulation-wise in the first bar. Okay. Here's 319. At 319, keep in mind, and of 1, piano, but then we drive through and shock the world down to the next measure. Here we go, 319. Set, go. We need to have more energy in the 16th note crescendo, supported by the pointed eighth notes in the trumpet and the saxophone with extreme space. Okay, here we go. Set, go. Horns, if you can, the eighth notes on your entrance need to be more lifted. Okay, more lifted. If you need to play them a little louder to make that happen, that's fine. Just as long as you still have room to crescendo. Okay. Third bar of 319, the decrescendo cannot result in bad pitch. You must control your pitch in the decrescendo. Make sure your air goes all the way to the downbeat of the fourth measure. Okay. 314. I'm very concerned with the fifth bar, which is the bar before 319. Okay. At the bar before 319, we don't necessarily need to delineate quite as much. So number 5 people that have the 16th notes, can you really, really crescendo through the 16ths, leading us to 319, then get back out of the way. Everybody else, the bar before 319, play with extreme clarity of articulation as we go lower in pitch to the release on 4. Okay? Here's 314, where we started. 314. Remember, 1 and 2 are the biggest priority. Same thing here. Any abrupt dynamic changes, isolation of eighths, clarity of articulation. That's what Persichetti is all about. 205. staccato release. That needs to come way out of the texture. Okay? Saxophones have it where we just stopped. Trumpets have it close to where we just stopped. Ya-da-da-da! Ya-da-da-da! Right at the release. Pop through the texture. Surprise moment. Very, very important. Okay? 221. From horns down in the brasses. Slight resonance, but very short. Da! 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 Okay? And we should phrase through. So if that means starting forte and phrasing through in the second part of fortissimo, that's what we need to do so we don't lose energy. Okay? When you have the 2 in a row brasses, extreme clarity. Da! Da! Okay? Clarinetist at 221, and you have a little bit of this before. First of all, please, 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 you need to spend time on this outside of rehearsal at quarter note equals 160, working up to it. But in general, always phrase through the 16th notes and lift off the slur. Da 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 da. Okay, that type of energy. After 221, third bar, woodwinds that have the upbeat. Da 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 dee da 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 dee da. Okay, lift off the slur. Dee da, and emphasize the upbeat. Okay. Can we go, please? The first 5 of 205, the first 5 bars. This will take us to a large point at the end of the phrase. And I need you to play it as though you're bopping it. You're not actually going to bop it, but it's basically bopping. Nothing touches. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a extreme clarity. Here we go. 205. 1 and a 2 and a set. Go. Always lean towards the release, the staccato 8. Let's try it again. It's clarinets against trumpets. Extremely pointed. Here we go. 205. 1 and 2 and set. Go. Now, as you get more of the conglomerate rhythm, which is towards the latter half of the phrase, the clarity needs to stick. So trumpets, 4th bar, da 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 da. Anything dotted, it's as though the dot's not there. D da da. Okay. Then, if you start in measure 1 and you go through all 5, gradual growth through 5. If you start in measure 2 and you go through 4, gradual growth through those 4. Here we go. 205. 1 and 2 and set. Clear. Last time. 1 and a 2 and a space. Go. have the syncopation to energize the syncopation when you play on the upbeat and play through the rest of the line. This is everybody, 205, please. Everybody's in? It's better. Here we go. 1 and 2 and set, go. We should hear this. Release on 1, big attack on 1, hit on 2, hit on 4, hit on 1, trumpets. Okay? Here we go. 6 bar. 1 and 2 and set, go. Anticipate the end of 1, brasses. It can't be late. Up! Up! Okay, here we go. 6 spot. 1 and 2 and set, go. Short. All those have to be extremely spaced. Energize the 16ths. Okay, before 221, 1, 2, 3, 4, where the trumpets come in. 4 before 221. One and 2 and set, go. Digga digga da. One in the last bar. 1 and 2 and set. Sorry, trumpets can hit on 2 beats stronger. Here we go. Not long, strong. 1 and 2 and set. Go. After the woodwind business, which we will practice if we have time today. If not today, I'm going to have Kenneth work on later this week. This is 137, okay? Everything applies here. Same technique. Set. Start that early. Okay. Before that, woodwind players, you have extremely marcato eights. Anytime you have those 2 eights, nothing touches. Extremely short. Low brass, please get after that fortissimo hit there. Okay. Count from 137. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the 8th bar. It's after the flutes go and clarinets go. Okay. The hits are on 1, on 2, on 3, and on 4. We need to pop each beat out. Da, da, da. So it's going to sound like da, 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 da. With the energy then releasing on the beat that follows. Okay? Can we go right there? 137. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 8th bar. 8th bar, 137. 1 E into 2 E into set. Go. So we should hear da 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 is what it should conglomerately sound like, because everybody releases on a downbeat. Here we go. 1, 2, drive for the release. Now we got the da 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 da, but what we need is da da da, except without a rest of it. Okay? So drive for the release every time. Here we go. 1 E into 2 E into set. Go. Hear the difference? That's Persichetti. That's what it should sound, just like that. Okay? Yeah, that's good. hear what that sounds like because it's super cool? Horns, this is Chicago Symphony, big time. Okay? Here we go, right there. 1 E into 2 E into set, go up! Okay, so phrase it more like this. Phrase towards the accent. Dee da da dee da da. Towards the accent, towards the release. Try it. 1, 2, set, go. Good, that's better. Now start forte so that the second bar can be fortissimo. 1, 2, set, go, rest. Good, fantastic. So do not cover that. Then horns, once you hit beat 4 in the second bar, you're out of the way because the trumpets go. Okay, like they're galloping. 137. 137. 1 E into 2 E into set. Articulate the end of 1. If you play there, take the slur, it's going to be on the first 2 16th notes, and then articulate the end of 1 really fast. Can I hear that there? Set, go. Okay. Same idea, slightly less oomph on the 8th note. So we can't necessarily tell it's articulated, but we hear the release. Here we go. 1, 2, set, go. Play it how it's written and try to drive to the release more. 1, 2, set. Yeah. Why didn't you play like that last time? Okay, so don't change it, but play it like that. Okay? All right. Trumpets. All 9 of you are playing. Okay? When you come in, before the fermata, start a true mezzo piano with the first playing mezzo forte so that it's icing on the cake, and then make sure you're a true forte by the end of the 2 bars so that we can hear the gradual growth. Okay? We're not getting enough growth out of that line right now. Okay? All right. Last thing. We're going to go at 137. Flutes. Make sure that you're playing straight 16th notes. Those enter on the downbeat of 4. Don't crush them. Okay? They enter on the downbeat of 4. The reason why it's so important is because you match up exactly with the 3rd and the 4th trumpet. Okay? So if you crush it, it won't sound together. Could we hear more saxophone in the first chord? More saxophone, bassoon, and bass clarinet at 137? A little bit more of a bob. Here we go. 137. One E into 2 E into set. over. Now, it's a little more scarce because what Persichetti does is he presents individual motivic material in snippets, and then he stacks it on top of each other and orchestrates it out. That's why the end of his pieces always sound ah, where every single pitch in a chromatic scale is being played all at once, like the end of this piece. I don't know, did he ever end a piece soft? Anyone know any band pieces by Persichetti that end soft? I'm going to look into that. I'm not sure he did. Not sure he did. He liked big, loud, chromatic band. Okay? So everything is the same style, but not played by as many players. Here we go, 89. Extremely pointed, pop sforzandos. Notice dynamic differences. What? Set it? Whether it's one player or 16 players, you have to play what he puts in the score dynamically. You have to play what he puts in the score articulatively. That's not a word. Articulation-wise. And you have to play what he puts in the score release-wise. Okay? Whether it's one or the whole group. Okay? So the level of confidence has to be there. The other thing that's happening is here the lines are not overlapped. Line on beat 1. Line on beat 2, line on beat 3 and 4. Versus earlier, he'd have a line from beat 1 to 3, and he'd have a line from beat 2 to 4, okay? So there was always something going on. Here, it connects, but there's not that same level of overlap until more players come in, okay? So we have to be ready for that, all right? So let's work backwards. At 108, highlight this. There's a brass pyramid going on. Brasses, your entrances are the following. The and of 1, the and of 3, 2 of the second measure, the and of 1 in the third measure, and the and of 3 in the third measure. Okay? You have this lick. Da-da-da-da. The 16ths always need to lead to a tight release on the downbeat. Da-da-da-da. Okay? Some of you have this lick. Da, 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 da. So what I need you to think of is no tie. Da, triplet, da. Or da, la, 1 la lead. It's a triplet over 2 beats. Da, dee, da, da, da. So if you put the tie in, da, 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 da. Okay? Energize through that with extreme space. Can I hear that, please? 108. Those people? 108. 1 and 2 and set. Go. Starts in first trombone. Here we go. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a set. Go. Okay, now, nothing can get softer as you go. Everything needs to phrase forward towards the downbeat. So for example, horns, you got to play through that tie, up through the quarter note triplet. You're arriving at the downbeat of the third bar, okay? Euphonium too, but you're playing to the downbeat of the second bar, okay? Kelly, you're playing to beat 3 in the first bar, okay? As pointed as you can play, Kelly. Here we go. Another run at it. Same spot. 1 and a 2 and a set. Go. Both the trumpet 3 and 4 entrance and the trumpet 1 and 2 entrance be stronger. Trumpet 1 and 2 entrance, you're on la. If you're doing small triplets, it would be a li, L-I, okay? Second part of the triplet, if you're doing the smaller, okay? Everybody, please, 108. All in. One E and the 2 E and the set, go. Entrances on and of 1, 2, 3, and of 3, 4. Pop the accented entrance. Okay? It does not get to the trumpet until beat 1 of the next measure. Okay, 108, all? 108. 1 E and 2 E and the set, go.